Okay, it is 1:01 on March 22nd, 2022. I call this meeting of the Wellfleet Select Board to order in accordance with the temporary suspension and enhancement of the open meeting law as allowed by the General Court of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The first order of business is announcement and open session and public comments. Are there any at this time? Okay, so then we're on to discussion and deliberation and selection of Wellfleet's next town administrator. So how I would prefer to do this is that we'll go through the entire board one by one and allow them each to speak on who they're, basically who is their preferred candidate and why. I won't be going back and forth between board members while each board member is expressing themselves. So we'll just go in order. For me, one candidate has led a large municipal staff, completed numerous complicated municipal projects similar to what Wellfleet will have in the foreseeable future, and has a firm understanding and strong local ties to the area, and also has a good understanding of the preconditions necessary to address some of our housing issues. And so my selection would be Rich Waldo. And then I'll just go through in seniority, I guess. So Helen?
Eek. Well, I have to say that whoever we choose today, I'm going to be delighted to work with because we have two incredible candidates. This was hard for me. I spent a lot of time with it over the last 24 hours. Both candidates have experience in municipalities. And one of them has more experience with municipal finance than the other, although the director of the DPW in Provincetown, which is a large department in charge of many complicated projects, also has experience with budgets. But after much thought and reviewing all the material we got, including that which is confidential in the reports, I choose Jane over Rich, because I think that what we're faced with in the next couple of years, given that we have an excellent director of the DPW, and we have an excellent assistant town administrator, would be best accomplished by Jane with her variety of experience and her range of dealing with the public in many different ways, including the fact that she has served on a select board, as well as all the other things she's done. So that's what I think. Thank you.
Okay, Janet?
So both candidates were excellent. I've been thinking about this all morning and yesterday evening, going over it, Googling them, and they're both really good. And to make, I think both of them have had very good town experience, and both of them would be really good communicators. And I do think we all agree that that's what Wellfleet needs now, openness and communication. For a number of reasons, if you really want me to go into detail, I will, but I just think I want Rich Waldo. I know I want Rich Waldo.
Okay, Mike?
So this was an extremely difficult decision. And that's a good thing because our select committee gave us two really qualified candidates, both with very different styles, very different candidates. both with different strengths. And I really struggled with this. And I'll tell you that I would be happy to work with either candidate. I think either one would be able to do the job in Wellfleet. But my preferred candidate at this point, or my preferred candidate after a lot of thinking and communicating and talking with people and really thinking about it, is Rich Waldo would be my preferred candidate. I think his ties to the local community, his understanding of the town, of the problems that we're having, him having worked in Provincetown, which is a difficult municipality to work in, especially in a large department. You're subject to a lot of criticism as a DPW director or in that department. I think that we have a known quantity in Rich, and I think I'll leave it at that. I think that I do also want to say that it was really difficult because Jane has a lot of strengths that I think that we need as a town too, as far as relating to the public and public relations and communication skills and financial strategy skills. So it was a really difficult decision.
Okay, John.
Yeah, again, to echo what everyone else has said, my hat is off to Mr. White and to the members of the search committee for an outstanding job in presenting us with two candidates who are very difficult to choose between. As Mike said, both of them have their strengths and their different approaches, but I would have no problem working with either one of them and either one of their approaches to town government. On balance, however, we have in Rich Waldo someone with ties to the community. He lives here. He's raising his children here. He's not going anywhere. He knows what it's like here in February. And given what the kinds of projects we have ahead of us over the next 5 to 15 years, the short term and the long term, he is uniquely positioned to materially aid in the process of setting those up. And in the process, probably saving the town a considerable amount of money. In addition, he is nearing the end of a process which Ms. Wellman is beginning, and that is getting their master's in public administration, which means that shortly he will be done with that process and be able to devote even more full-time and attention on town matters. And I think that's important too. So I am speaking up in favor of Mr. Waldo. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I move the Wellfleet Select Board has identified Richard Waldo as our preferred candidate, and will notify the candidates thereof, and enter into contract negotiations with the identified candidate.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
So before we do that, Ryan,
Yep.
when I was chair of the last time, it would be really wonderful and a great show of support if we had unanimous support from for the candidate. So anyhow, but yes, Janet, I.
Michael,
John.
Sorry, John, you go ahead first.
John, I.
Michael, I.
Ryan, I.
And Helen, and Janet, I hope that indicates, I was going to do that anyway, because as I said, whoever we appoint, I am in full support of. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Okay, and then, so that members of the board are aware, I have had a meeting posted for next Tuesday for executive session to work on the for the contract negotiations. If that's helpful, and that's at 6 o'clock, right, Rebecca? Did I say 6 or 7?
You said 6.
Okay, it's at 6. So,
Okay, great.
all right.
Yeah, forgive me, Ryan, do we have one other meeting that night or we?
No,
That's just that. Okay, thanks.
and Charlie will be back then as well.
Great.
So, Rich White, would you be available then?
He's on mute.
Yeah, you're muted.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. With that, I guess, I move to adjourn.
Second,
Okay, roll call vote.
Janet, I.
Aye.
Michael, I.
Ryan, I.
Helen, I.
Okay.
Good night,
That's like a
guys.
record, you guys. That's
Have a
12
great
minutes.
day.
What did we do?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we all, deliberated in our minds for the last 24 hours, so.
Oh, I did it longer than that, dear.
Yeah.
Nice
So-
job.
So
It's
since we're
over.
chatting, I really want Jane to